Do you own that donkey
Yeah, it's my donkey.
in Ecuador or here?
Yeah, in Ecuador. I want to bring one here.
Are they or just what's his name? Is it a guy or girl?
It's a boy.
Okay,
His name is Carlitos.
Carlitos. So is that what's that in English? Just Carlitos.
Carlos.
Okay, Carlos.
Like little
Like
Carlos.
a little Carlos. Okay.
And there's a fun fact about donkeys. I always tell that when the guys ask like what's up with donkeys,
Yeah.
if you don't approach them the right way, like nicely,
Yeah.
they will beat the fuck out of you.
Like with their back legs though, no?
No, they will bite you and get
Oh,
on
really?
top. Yeah, they're mean motherfuckers.
All of them, or it's like he's just a mean one.
No, if you don't like, you can approach a horse and touch him. You know, you give him some greens or a banana, and
Yeah.
and horses are cool. Like when I was as a kid on my dad's farm, me and an employee would go like kind of like to a little mountain to grab a horse so I can go ride for the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just walk with a banana and you know, you put the laces and you get on top.
Okay. Not a wild horse.
No, like a normal horse.
Okay.
But I actually I ride like a younger horse that wasn't fully adapt, and my dad made me go on one, just to see me falling. So yeah, just go. He's fully good. You can just go because when they're younger, like the main cowboy or the main guy, ride them and they jump and until they get used to. It's like a dog on a leash. They won't walk at first.
Yeah.
So my dad told me there was this younger horse that it was a red with white face. It was beautiful, and I always want to ride him. And my dad was like, yeah, he's good to go. You can.
But he knew he wasn't good to go?
He set me up, yeah.
Damn.
So, and it was very muddy. It's been raining for a few weeks, so it was like all mud. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna ride the horse. I put my feet on the step to get up. The moment I sit, that motherfucker started just jumping crazy. And I fell on the mud, and I was just fully covered in mud.
Did he take off like after you fell? Like so he
No,
wasn't gonna like stomp on you or
He
anything?
stayed just there looking at me.
Okay, so he just wanted to show you like you can't ride.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad was just fucking laughing. And I was like, okay.
How did you learn to approach a donkey if they're very aggressive?
You gotta come nicely.
Yeah.
There's some videos on the internet, like, you know, dumb kids kind of like slap a donkey for a video and the donkey would bite you and start running with you, and they're mean.
So they're that strong, like their jaws, they can bite you and run with you in their mouth?
Fuck yeah. And
That's not what I would think.
they're not the brightest, like in terms of like a horse, like they're very bright, but they're strong as fuck. You can put like
Oh yeah, a mule, right? Like
a mule is a mix.
Oh.
It's a donkey with a horse.
oh, okay.
That's a mule.
So, but isn't that what they use really to like transport a lot of things?
They do use mules, but the mules is like, I would say like a better standard, like a farmer with a little more money.
Okay.
On a donkey, you can put 1,000 pounds of milk or constructions, and those motherfuckers just walk.
And they'll go.
But when they get tired, they stop, and there's nothing in the world that will make them go.
How much do you buy a donkey for?
Fuck, dude, you can get one for free in Ecuador.
Are they like squirrels out there?
Pretty much.
Like,
I mean,
they're just walking around by trees and.
where I am from, there's like guys in the mercado that they have donkeys.
What is that?
Like where you can buy your fruit, like a little.
Like a market, like a farmer's market.
Pretty much, but
Okay.
without the high end.
Okay, no, of course,
So,
not like LA.
So they have like donkeys to pull like this little how you call the wheel things, the wood things,
A wagon?
a wagon.
Okay.
So one donkey would pull a wagon for 20 days, and they're just strong.
What do you feed them? Just hay and carrots,
Yeah.
or anything like
No,
pigs?
they might eat a pig.
No, like how pigs will eat literally anything,
Oh.
and they're good.
No,
like you
no.
can feed them like a shoe, and they'd probably
They-
honestly get
no.
nutrition from it.
No, they eat anything. No, I think donkeys eat kind of like a horse.
Okay.
But like this one, we were in Ecuador, and this is in Quito, and we were eating at a restaurant, and the backyard of the restaurant was like this just open farm,
Oh, okay.
and there was like few horses on like nice, and this little guy, he was just chilling in the wild.
So
And
he's a wild dude. He wasn't like the restaurant owner's donkey.
I mean, they could be owned by them, but he was just walking around without being tied or anything. And I just came, kind of like pet him, and just talk nicely to him, and Actually, I was on the phone with my manager getting a fight done there.
No, on the donkey.
Yeah, on the
Like,
donkey.
yeah, I'm gonna fight someone.
And that's with a film camera too, so that photo came pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a good shot. It definitely caught my attention sitting down. I was like, all right, he owns a donkey. For a second, I thought you had two, and then I was like, well, no, because
It's just
it's a mirrored image.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have brothers and sisters or anything?
I'm the youngest one. I got a sister and a brother.
Okay, so they're both older.
They're older and normal people.
Did your brother get you into fighting or something? Or
My brother and my cousin, when I was a baby, like my son, like 9, 8, they would go play soccer, like on the street, and
Yep.
if they have a problem with someone younger that they can beat because they were older, they would come pick me up from the
No.
house and tell me like, "Put your shoes, you're fighting," and I was like,
You got no problem with this guy other
No
than
problem.
your brother told you to like just go beat this dude's ass.
or they will,
kid.
or they will pay like the homeless kids, like they were giving like few bucks, and they were like, "Yeah, I fight your brother," and they would come to the house, grab me, and tell me like, "Yo, you have a fight," and I was like, "What do you mean by I have a fight?" It's like someone's waiting outside.
Was this something that you were like super into, or were you just like down because your brother and your cousin were like, do
Fuck
it?
no, I was pushed to do it. I was scared.
Oh, you didn't even want to fight. You were
I
just
mean,
like,
I like it. I grew up, thinking I was Rambo or Chuck Norris, but
yeah.
I wasn't looking for a fight.
So like, damn. So you're 8 years old, just like beating random homeless kids' asses
Whoa.
for money,
No,
or they're getting paid.
they were beating my ass, and
Oh,
they were.
really?
Oh yeah, they're
Oh.
street kids. They
Okay.
got more everything than me. They got more street smart. They were down for a fight.
And like, did that was your training? Like as a young kid, was just fighting homeless kids?
I mean, it wasn't a training because I didn't pick that, but my brother was a big WWE guy,
Oh, okay.
so he would like use me as his attraction.
But at the time, did your brother? How old was he when you were 8?
He's what, like 4 or 5 years older than me.
Okay, so he's 12. When I was 12, like I thought the WWE was real. Like
Oh, he thought it was real.
so he was like, okay, so it was like the UFC to him.
It was, and he would practice on me all the moves, and he would fuck me up.
Yeah.
Like he would throw me in the bed, and my feet would hit the window, or he would like
Yeah.
do a pedigree like Triple H one, that when your head is in between his legs, and he would like full
Sit
blast me,
down.
sit down on my face, and I would like get fucked up with the mattress. And so
That's probably why you can't get knocked out. This is like a very young thing that has developed.
I mean, could be.
I mean, you were just getting beat up by homeless kids and your brother. That's a
Yeah.
huge advantage when you get to the UFC.
My brother will put he will put like 3 4 socks in one sock and make a homemade boxing glove,
Oh shit!
and those things will definitely move. So all the
All the
socks,
cushion is down here.
all the socks were
You're just
to the
getting
left,
knuckles, yeah.
and I was getting full knuckles. So there was times that I have 2 shot eyes, like a panda, like round black.
Were your parents around?
Yeah,
And what were they like?
they were like punishing for that, but
Okay,
he will keep kicking my ass for fun.
But he still, it was like, it's not like he didn't love you. He was
No,
just
no.
like, this was what it was.
It
for
wasn't.
you guys.
It wasn't malicious. He was just using me
having fun.
as a dummy training.
I get you.
And I was kind of like a tough kid, and I would cry, and then he would like play with me, and I was fine. But they toughed me out. Like my cousin will be like, I'll be at home watching TV,
Yeah.
chilling, watching Rocket Power,
Hell
just
yeah.
having a good time.
Yeah.
And they will come on the 4-wheelers, and I can hear them. "Rah!" I say, come on, put your shoes on. You have a fight. You gotta kick this guy's ass. He's talking shit. I'm like,
This is
talking
crazy.
shit to you, not to me.
Yeah. I'm watching Rocket Power. Like, I don't want to go fight right
And
now.
I would like put my I like put like my running shoes, kind of like put it on a nice tight t-shirt so no one pull it, and they would tell me like, that's the guy. And the kids in the neighborhood, I know them. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I can beat this guy.
Oh,
So
like-
the guy will be like talking to other people after a soccer game,
Yeah.
and I would just come and sucker punching from behind, just walking from behind.
And that's how you would start a fight.
Yeah, because I was forced by them.
And you knew that this guy maybe had an advantage. So you're like, I just have to be sneaky.
I was the skinniest one, the shortest one, and definitely the weakest one. I was just funny. That was my gift early age, and I would see the guy that they told me like, you gotta go fight the guy, and I was like, fuck, I don't wanna fight the guy.
But then your brother would be like,
But my brother and cousin, they will have dirt on me. Like I would like do stupid shit. I would like pee on the street, or throw a rock to a car and scratch him, and they were like, if you don't do it, we will tell that.
It was straight blackmail.
And they will. Now I know, looking back, they probably will never tell my parents that because they will get in trouble.
Yeah,
they will just blackmail me
because they were in charge of you making sure that you wouldn't do those things, and if they let you do them, they'd be in trouble too. If
I would have figured it out, that
I
wouldn't be a fighter now.
So then, but what, like, how to get from 8 to now? Like, where did you actually develop like an interest of like, I'm gonna go and like try to do that? Did you know you were good or something? Like,
no, I lose a lot of those street fights, so I knew I wasn't good.
Yeah, okay.
I knew I was tough, but I think around 14, 13, I was skating a lot with older people, and like sometimes the easier way to fit in was like, let's see, it was my goal in the little ramp and someone go, so my thought was like, if I tell the guy to go and fuck himself, the older guys will be like, oh, that kid is cool.
Yeah.
So I will start fights out of nowhere.
Oh shit! So you were like looking for a fight.
I was looking
just to kind of prove yourself.
But I literally, when I was 13, 14, my group of friends were 18, 17, 19.
Okay.
So it was me and few friends my age hanging out with older people, and they were like, dude, why you always fighting? You gotta stop doing that. And I just kept getting in fights. And then when I started going out and being on the club, I had a fake ID and all that shit, I would just get in fights. Like someone looked me
at the club.
At the club. Someone looked me the wrong way, boom.
You didn't care, like there's like 6'4" bouncers in there, like would they take you out? Like, I don't know what it's like in Ecuador.
Back then, the bouncers, it was not like the US, like they're paid to fight. They
would let it happen as long as it doesn't get like out of control.
Exactly. So, and it was pretty short fight. So it was in a club, right? So I was smart about it. So if someone rubbed me the wrong way, I would throw my drink and 4 or 5 punches, and then that was it.
What's the drinking age down there? Is it 18?
18.
So you were 16 in the club with a fake ID or younger?
14.
Okay.
I start early.
Did you look 14 or did you look like 17 or did you look like 12?
I look 9.
Okay.
And
you're
somehow, I don't know why, but every time I either have a fake one or my brother's one, because he borrowed it to me, so that's his fault. So somehow they will look at my brother's ID that doesn't really look like me, and they were like, okay, cool, but it's because I was secure. I was just walking in like,
yeah, you had the confidence.
And I got friends with a full beer, and they will be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because they're nervous. They're like about to give them the idea.
Yeah, so they probably feel my energy. It's like, oh, you look 18 and a half.
Yeah.
And they just let me in.
Okay.
So, but I did start way too early.
Is your brother still down in Ecuador?
Everybody.
And just not normal, I hate to say that, but like they're just like chilling, like doing like something honest work, you know?
My brother is a lawyer. My sister is an economist. They were good in school. I wasn't.
Okay. So even though your brother was like getting into, you know, stuff like fights and whatnot, like he was still like studying and getting good grades.
They both were pretty good students.
Okay.
I got kicked out of school
because of fighting.
Because of everything. I was a menace.
Okay.
So I couldn't keep it together.
At what age did you get kicked out?
I got kicked out probably 3 years before finishing high school.
So you're like 15 or something?
I was 15. Then I went to this. When they kicked me out, my mom was like signing me up in this like nice school that all my friends were in. It was like the cool kids school.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yeah. And my dad was like, fuck that. Don't give him a gift. Fuck that kid. Send him to a school that he don't like.
He's hard. He's tough on you.
I fuck around a lot, but I make sure he was the last person to find out.
Oh, really? Okay. So you knew.
Oh, I knew it.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to like let him know. When he was around, when he's around, I'm just like, yes sir, yes sir.
No, yeah.
Yeah, my mom was more like, I mean,
you're her baby,
and she can hit me that hard anyways.
Yeah.
Like when she was really hitting me, I was like, yeah, this is okay.
Were they like? What's up? Sorry. No, you're good. You're good.
I want to cover your face.
Oh, my bad.
That's a pretty face. You gotta keep it out.
I appreciate you. So if like, was there, obviously, like when you start fighting, I feel like most parents would be like not stoked about it. But like, was there a moment where like it like switched and your parents were like, oh wait, no, this is, you could actually do something with this?
I mean, when I was younger and I was training a lot to be a fighter, my whole family was against it. Like uncles, mom, dad, brother, sister. But I used to get really mad at that. But looking back, they were right. I mean, I got in so much trouble. I got, kicked out of places, kicked out of parties, got arrested a few times, and not for nothing crazy, just for a street fight. But still, so they were like, you're starting to avoid college, because that's like the normal thing in Ecuador. You finish high school, you go straight to college.
No, same here.
When I walked through the college doors to sign up, I literally, where there's the big sign of the name of the college. I walked through those doors. I probably did like 6 more steps and say, fuck this. And I went back, jumped in the car, and my mom was like, how was it? I said, like, I fucking left even before I try. And then I was already training, and they couldn't, the UFC wasn't popular. That's another thing. No one knew what the UFC was.
Is this like, what year is this?
This is probably 2012.
Okay. So it's in its infancy. I mean, like, it is kind of popping, but like...
It was here big. It was in Brazil big. But it was impossible for a guy from Ecuador to make it. It wasn't not a guy from South America that already made it. So they were like...
Were you thinking about the UFC when you were training? Like, were you doing MMA, or were you just doing jiu-jitsu or just striking?
I went to jiu-jitsu school.
Oh, okay.
My first day, the first day that I signed up, I didn't did a try class. I went with the $60 check and pay for the month. And then no one does that. No, people normally go for a week, then
see how they
come back.
Yeah.
And then the jiu-jitsu instructor at the time, which is still there, I just walk up to him and I was like, hey man, I'm here because I want to be a UFC fighter. The guy peeled his foot and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no UFC here. And I was like, yeah, I came here because I want to be in the UFC. And he was like, sure, well, put your gi and I see you in 10 minutes. And that day, back then, was from 6 to 7:30, like the amateur class. And from 8 till 9:30 was like the purple belts and brown and black. And the first day, I did both classes. Get my ass kicked. And I was just... But the way I was like just getting choked out, coming after again. Getting choked out, coming after. And they were like, you're fucking an angry person, dude. You're trying like for your life. And then from that day, I didn't stop till today.
You went to that same place.
I went to
every night at 6:30.
Every night.
And you would stay till 9:30 fighting purple, brown, and black belts.
Every day.
When you were a white belt.
When I was a white belt.
Were they like, how does that even work? Like they could, I feel like a black belt could probably, like, are they dumbing down their technique when they roll, or they're just not even taking it easy and you're just having to learn quick?
Both. Okay. Like they were like, dude, like I would get tap out and I would like just
like, let's go again,
jump again, and they were like, okay, cool, and then jump again and jump again, and they were like, who's this kid? Like, and then when I graduated from high school, I started coming at the 11 in the morning class. And then the 6 p.m. and then the 8 p.m.
Oh, so it was just your life.
It was everything. The day I signed up for this in this school, I stopped going out. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I was like...
So, I mean, your parents must have loved that, though, because even though it's fighting, it's taking you away from all these other vices that every other kid has that gets them into some...
There was, since I started, no more issues. No more problems. No more people calling my dad, be like, hey, dude, your son just did this. It just stops.
But when you started learning real fighting technique, did that make you want to just go beat all these kids' asses in the street because they didn't know how to fight?
I stopped. I was like, I would go to a party and be like sitting on the corner and be like, I don't...
Because it gave you that confidence, like, give me 1 second with you.
Like when I was like a white belt close to blue, I was like, fighting doesn't exist for me, like on the street.
How long did it, from that first day in jiu-jitsu, take you to get to your blue belt?
Probably like a year and a half.
And then from the very beginning all the way, you're a black belt, right?
Yes.
How long did that whole process take?
Close to 10 years.
And then were you a black belt before you got the call from like Dana or whoever?
Yes, I was already a black belt, but I had like no wrestling and okay strike. Like my striking was more like throwing kicks and run away from the punches.
Okay.
And
but were you already getting into MMA fights when you only knew
so
jiu-jitsu?
So that's my third or fourth professional fight in Peru.
And this is MMA.
This is MMA, and this was I was early in my career, and they brought me to Peru. This was the main event, and they literally brought me like I was in paper. This guy was supposed to kill me and hurt me.
Are you in the white or the black?
I'm on top.
Okay, I'm like, okay, hold on.
And then, like, this is a really famous place in Peru called the Rosedal. It's a rooster fight arena. So they put the cage on the circle with the rooster fights.
No way.
So the locker room, in quote-unquote locker room, was a piece of, like, sheets in between us and the roosters.
Hold on, wait. Will you just play that first 10 seconds again? I want to see how you get.
Wait till you see the elbows at the end. I drop him with the right hand.
Do you have like at this point do you feel like super comfortable with your striking, or are you still kind of novice?
I did know what I was doing. You're
just throwing punches.
I was throwing
like
hard.
It's the street.
Pretty much. And then wait till I pass his guard and I mount him. That guy, I caught him so bad.
Like, are you a black belt in this already?
I was probably a brown belt here.
But this guy was supposed to just destroy you.
He was an MMA fighter. Look those elbows. Look, 1, 2,
Ooh.
3,
Ooh.
4,
Oh, he's
5.
out.
That referee is a mean motherfucker. Like that guy.
Oh my God. He wasn't even protecting himself after the first elbow.
And I did not stop, so that's a good thing. So in this fight, this guy was coming from, he just won a fight in Paraguay. So, back then, if you win a fight out of your country, you are like almost like the guy.
Right.
And they called me like, hey, you want to fight the main event against this guy? So like, fuck, I don't know if I'm ready for that. But at the time.
What round was that?
First round.
And out of it, is that like a 3-round fight?
A 3-round fight. And at the time, they offer you $300 to fight internationally. That's like 300,000 right now.
Did they fly you to wherever you, or did you where was it? That was in Peru?
In Peru.
How close is Peru to Ecuador?
Like an hour and a half flight.
Okay, and you bought a ticket and you're just like, I'm going to go.
They give me one ticket and they let me stay in someone's house. Like I was staying at a random fighter house.
Could you did you have a coach?
Whoever was training me at the time, they flew me out like 2 weeks before. Don't ask me why.
So you're in Peru for 2 weeks?
By myself.
Could you train?
I was running and pretending
like shadow boxing,
do my workout and stuff, and then they brought my coach like 3 days before the fight. So they kind of like they didn't set me up.
They kind of did set you up to lose, huh?
In a way, because why they brought me so early? It was like 10 days, and I was like, and I was just by myself in the house, just like looking, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna fight in 3 more days.
Yeah,
but back then was gnarly. Because all the fights that I got internationally were like that. They literally, I would say like 90% of those fights, they brought me to lose. And after I fought this guy from Peru, I only fought Brazilians and one guy from the U.S. I don't fight any more Peruvians.
Because he was the guy from Peru.
At the moment, he was a big name.
And all these fights were happening in South America.
I fought, before this one, I fought in Panama. And after this, I fought in Mexico. Then I came back and fought like 4 times in Peru. And I was my manager. So I would call all these promotions in South America and offer myself for free.
Damn.
Because I want to make a name.
Yep.
And they were like, oh, we don't have budget. I was like, dude, just give me a poster with my face fighting someone. And I go and figure it out. Flights and hotel. Because
flying to Mexico, I mean, that's not like that close. Isn't that like a lot of money to get it?
In South America, inside South America, it's like few $100.
Oh, okay.
And
but still, like
back then, few $100 was a lot. Like in those shorts that I have like 6 sponsors, like it was like 200, 150.
What are they? How does that even work? Like, do they just pay? They pay you monthly, or like to wear it just for that one fight?
Back then,
no,
it was one fight,
one fight sponsor.
$200.
Okay.
And I thought I was like, holy shit, I'm collecting some cash.
Like I'm a pro fighter.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm collecting cash.
Were you like, was that on TV or like a stream?
It was like live on some streams that people couldn't barely see it.
Was it like couple hundred people in there, or it was like 1,000 people? Or
Probably 30 people.
So like, I guess like, how did it progress to be like? Then you were starting to get into like arenas. Like obviously that's like when you made it. But like how, like when did you like see the momentum? And it was like, oh no, like these are big rooms. And
so this one was like a really famous place. So I was probably the first guy from Ecuador fighting on this arena.
Mm-hmm.
My coach at the time, the Brazilian guy, he fought here before, so he was a kind of like a legend because the Peruvians were toe-to-toe with the Brazilians. So everybody was like, the Peruvians are some real motherfuckers.
Mm.
So when I fought there, like, it was like, okay, let's see what he got, but he might get killed. So the fight after this, or 2 fights after this, was in Mexico. And it was on this kind of like a big basketball coliseum, and it was packed. I have never seen that much cars on an event, and that was the main event. And when I get to the arena, I was like, holy shit, there's like 8,000 people in attendance.
Oh, it was like a legit arena.
It was a legit arena. And then when I walked through the arena, and like an actual locker room, and I was like, holy shit. That was in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Were you still like alone? Like, or did you have your set and
I have one guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one guy with me on all these fights. And when I walked to the arena and I saw the line of cars in the parking lot and I saw the people, everybody drinking beer, and I was like, holy shit, this is a real fight.
And you were the main event.
I was the main
So
event.
did they know you? Like, did people in the arena know? Like,
I mean,
Chito.
No, I was fighting the local guy. So there was no Chito.
Okay.
But
did you won?
I won that fight.
Did you knock him out, or is it
I
just...
choke him up, put him to sleep.
So like, as you're choking him out, do you remember that? Like, was the crowd just like silent because he was their guy?
It was silence, but that fight gave me like a lot of respect because I was fighting for the 135, for the 145 belt.
Mm-hmm.
The champion of that belt on the weigh-in day on Friday did not show up. Like, just didn't show up. This happened in small events.
You were set to fight him?
I was set to fight this guy. And he was actually a pretty good fighter. Then I was on the weigh-ins, and the promoter said, like, hey, dude, I think I make 500 for that fight. And they say, like, yo, we can bring you the 155 champion. He's driving from El Paso to here. And back then, guys that train in El Paso means that they come to the U.S. to train.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, a guy that speak English? That guy will kick my ass. And he was a champion in the weight class above.
170?
155.
Oh, 155.
So I was like, holy shit, that guy's going to fuck me up.
But he was going to come down to 145?
No, he just show up at the weight that he was.
And you had to get up to 155, or you were just...
I couldn't...
This was like a day before the fight?
A day before the fight.
Okay.
So I'm not making more weight.
Right.
So they told me, like, oh, yeah, he only weighed like 163. And I was like, bullshit.
It's like 20 pounds more than you were at that moment?
At the moment, but he probably weighed 170.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I started researching this guy, and I was like, let me see who this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, there's a big UFC fighter from Mexico. His name is Jair Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He got KO by this guy before the UFC.
Damn.
And I was like, and at the time, I already know who Jair was. He was already in the UFC development program for South Americans that I was in few fights after this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if this guy KO the guy that is already getting ready for the UFC, I'm gonna get fucking my ass kicked because he knocked him out.
But did that do you really give that power? Like, cause you know how things are so different. Like, this fighter can beat this fighter, but this fighter can beat this fighter. It's
the math doesn't make sense in MMA.
Right. So did you let that really have power? I mean, you won the fight, so obviously not. But like, were you?
I was more excited. I was like, if I can beat the guy that beat the guy, that can give me something. But on fight day, when we were across the cage, that motherfucker was huge.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh my God. And he was a boxer, big power. So I was like, I don't want to get punched by this guy.
Yeah.
So I just, the game plan was to strike with the guy. And I say, fuck that. So I should have taken him from 7 feet away. I went on my knees and just hugged him. And somehow took him down. And I was like, oh my God, I took him down. So I started trying to pass his guard and shit. And he was pretty good in the ground. So he stand up pretty good. But he make one mistake. He give me his bag. I jumped like a monkey. I took his bag, put the hooks in, sealed the choke, and I choke him out on the while he was standing up, and he just.
You were on his back and he was standing up.
Yeah, and
Did
he get
pass
up.
Out?
He passed out, so we fall from the stand up to the ground.
And you didn't let go.
And I couldn't. That guy would probably knock me out, so I squeezed everything I had in my life, and then he went down. And I was like, thank God, because if we were to fight, like actually fight, like get in front of each other,
yeah,
there was a big percentage that he would just knock the fuck out of me.
So that was the very first round, so you didn't really have to deal with his striking.
Not at all.
Okay.
That was like 3 minutes in.
Damn, like, dude, that's crazy. 8,000 people watching. Like, I mean, it gets even crazier. Like, the pressure of the UFC. Like,
oh, those are different nights.
I mean, I can't even imagine. I feel like I would pass out just from like my heart rate, just like walking out there, knowing like I'm gonna get in a fight, and whatever happens, the world is watching.
When you get to the arena, they film you walking to the arena.
Yeah.
And they play the video on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And when the crowd goes crazy, that shit vibrates. The floor that when you're walking to the lock and you're like,
these people want to see.
It's like Gladiator. Like when they get to the arena, it's a different feeling.
No, it is. I mean, it's the closest thing we have in modern day to
is.
that. You guys are fighting.
Yeah,
like, I mean, so you could die. You know. I mean, like they try to make it, you know, the rules so like you can't like hit.
Well, I mean, if you get kicked in the head, that's close to die.
Some of these like the head kick shit, like I don't know. I don't understand how you continue to fight like after getting KO'd. Those guys, they don't even like when you. I mean, you have never experienced that, which is crazy. But like those guys who get like even like I don't know. I'm trying like Usman getting like KO'd by Leon, like he looked like
clean to the head.
Yeah, and he was gone. Or Volk by
Tupuria, or Islam.
No, Islam. Yeah,
that was a heavy kick.
Or I mean, this guy's kind of gone at this point. But God, Tony
Ferguson.
Yeah, by Michael Chandler.
That was bad. I mean, look.
Chito, your friend just texted me these right now.
Actually. Who? That's you?
Xavier.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that you?
I'm a baby, dude.
Bro, that like I would never even guess.
Oh, that was in Ecuador. I remember that. That was in the beach. Holy shit! I don't have tattoos. I only had my daughter's name. That's it.
Damn. So how young did you have a daughter?
I was 17.
How old are you right now?
31. She's 13.
Bro.
That's my first coach. That's a jiu-jitsu guy that I went the first day. His name is Fernando Soluso.
He must have been proud when you started doing this shit. And he was like, I remember when you came in and was like, I want to be in the UFC.
He's the reason MMA got to Ecuador, because this guy was a jiu-jitsu black belt, like a really high-level guy. And he did the same thing that the Gracies did in South America. He would just show up to other countries by himself and fight these fights. And he would have won with jiu-jitsu. So if this guy will never come to Ecuador, I'll be probably being a lawyer right now.
You'd be a lawyer?
I mean...
Have you ever watched Suits?
Sometimes.
Yo, you gotta watch Suits on Netflix. It's crazy.
Oh, if I wear a suit. Oh, the show.
No, the show, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I saw.
Do you wear suits, though? You ever walk out in a suit? That'd be kind of clean.
I did feud fights with a suit.
You should get, like, a sponsorship. Like, I don't know what is it, like Versace or Armani? Like, who's got a suit that's... Someone would pay you some good shit to walk out on your next fight.
If they bring me the check, I fucking wear anything.
Was that Vaseline or was that like a scar that you don't have anymore?
No, that's Vaseline.
Oh,
they put like a big chunk and then they spray in your face.
How do you like... that's just so the skin doesn't rip, like if the glove catches you?
It doesn't rip right away.
Okay, but it will, obviously.
It will rip regardless. If you get punched clean... Doesn't matter how much Vaseline you get, that thing's gonna just explode. Do
you have a spot that, like how Nate Diaz, like his eye always opens up? Like,
I mean, I had few cuts in the past. From comments. I got pretty good skin.
Yeah?
Like, there's guys that they get punched and they just split open.
How did, like... God, I mean, obviously when you're fighting, you probably can't really feel that.
That's a triangle choke, yeah.
From which... Oh, you're in the UFC already, though.
No, this is in Ecuador.
Oh, I thought that... Doesn't your glove say something? Like?
I mean, they were UFC gloves.
Oh, okay.
They and back then...
Everyone wears those?
You see my hand wraps?
Yeah.
I was wearing regular... Like the hand wraps that people wear to go to like a cardio kickboxing or a boxing... like, those are like the nylon wraps. not even real wraps.
So what's the difference there? Like, because I don't know. I've never had my hands wrapped.
I mean, the way the UFC does, they put tape, gas, and it's nice and compact and really professional. That was done by me in the locker room while I was nervous.
Oh, so there's not much protection there?
I mean, there is kind of like a protection, but it's not comfy. You just have it's like putting a t-shirt in your hand.
Okay.
And back
after
then,
those fights, are your knuckles bleeding?
I wasn't really punching
Oh,
much.
you were just, okay. Does it make it way harder to grapple when you have the
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
With those type of wraps,
or even like the UFC wraps?
they ask you want big padding or little padding. I always ask for the thinnest thing they can do.
Do you think that makes it worse for the guy you're punching in the face? Or
I
is that just
personally go really thin because I want my knuckles to go to his face.
Yeah.
Now that I know how to punch.
But you're never afraid of like you're gonna pop a knuckle like.
I mean, that's just consequences. I'm willing to deal with that.
What could you if that happened in the first round of a 5-round like championship fight? Would you'd just be like in fight mode? You're not worried about it?
I fought Jose Aldo with a broken hand.
No way.
And I think
you broke it in the fight.
I broke it 3 weeks before the fight. I sprained the ligament and I broke whatever is called this one right here. It was broken, like a fracture.
And it hurt.
I couldn't
bad?
punch. But what I did in camp was like if I would hit mitts, I would hit only with one hand.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was sparring, I wouldn't punch with this hand at all.
But then in the fight, you started punching with your left hand.
In the fun, I say fuck it.
And did you feel it?
I mean, it hurt, but the adrenaline kicks in and you're so scared for your life that you just let it go.
Yeah.
But I think I've never disclosed this.
You've never said that?
I think this is the first time I say it.
What happened in that fight? I don't even know.
I lost by decision, but it was a very close fight.
Did you land some like left hands on him?
Yeah, big ones. I feel the first round, it was even. I would have given it to him.
Yeah.
The second round was all me. And in the third round, I was so cocky because I saw him broken down that I just started swinging. And I gave my back like an amateur. He took my back and controlled me. But he didn't attempt to choke me. He just hold me. And I was punching from behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I won the fight.
Yeah.
But they gave it to him because of control. Because he controlled like close to 4 minutes in the round.
Okay, so the last round.
But on the second round that I won, I controlled like 3 minutes and some change too. So it was almost like...
Okay, was it a split decision?
It was unanimous.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, he's a legend. So
yeah, of course.
It was.
What year was that?
That was during COVID.
He was still like kind of on his run a little bit.
He fought for a title after that.
Is that when he fought Conor?
No, that was way before. That was when he fought Peter Yan for the interim.
Okay.
Oh no, that was for the actual title.
That was right before you fought O'Malley for the first time, right?
That was the fight after. They give me the O'Malley fight.
Right after he fought Jose?
Oh no, it was O'Malley, Jose.
Oh really?
Yeah. O'Malley was first.
Because you guys had masks on for the O'Malley fight.
Yeah,
So
I'm for the Aldo fight.
Early COVID.
Was your hand like way worse after? Like, did you see a doctor and he's like, "Oh, dude, this is all messed up," or was it fine?
I went to the doctor appointment like a week after the fight, and the sprain and the fracture was still there. And they asked me like, "It hurt in the fight?" I'm like, "It didn't really hurt in the fight. It hurt during training, so I couldn't have a proper training camp." And my manager told me, "You want me to pull you out?" I said like, "Fuck no, that."
But why not? Like, why not? Like, if you know you could probably make... Or did you not think, like, oh, the fight might not ever happen if I don't fight?
I mean, when I'm going to get the chance to fight someone like that, and losing that fight, I went on a crazy winning streak afterwards. So the experience of being with someone like that really helps.
Probably makes the other fights where you're fighting someone new or something, like, feel a little bit like... Because those fights are so high pressure. There's, like... You're fighting a legend. You grew up watching this dude.
Pretty much.
And I feel like, I don't know, that would be crazy.
That's why I took the fight, because he was so high level. It's like if someone asks you, like let's say you're not feeling well, you're under the weather or whatever, and a big name that you look up, I don't know, who's that in music?
I mean, dude, The Weeknd.
Let's say The Weeknd's like, yo, you want to come and perform with me for a few songs?
Yeah, no, I mean, literally... something similar actually happened to that. I had food poisoning. So I'm flying from, I don't know why we're flying out of Minneapolis to London, and we were performing at this, I think it's called this summertime ball, and it's in Wembley Stadium. So huge, 80,000 people, sold out. All the biggest artists of the year perform, and we had a really big song in the UK that year. And so they asked us to come perform. We were like, hell yeah. So we're in Minneapolis. It's like 11:30 p.m. We're about to get on a red eye to land in London. And I like go order this like cheeseburger and like a chocolate milkshake, because I would eat that all the time. Like that was my favorite meal right before a flight. And I don't know exactly where it came from, but something in that meal fucked me up. Like my stomach, like I was spending more time on the toilet than I was like asleep at night. Like it was
on the plane.
Bad. It started on the plane. That was bad. And then when we had to land in actually Amsterdam. I went to inside the Amsterdam airport. I don't know if you've ever flown through there. Sweet airport. They had a doctor. So I went to the doctor, and he pretty much told me I had food poisoning. I don't know exactly what he gave me. I was like, just my head wasn't there because I was feeling so shitty. And so then we had to get on another quick flight from Amsterdam to London. Then we land in London. We sleep that night. I didn't really sleep, but like this is a perfect example because like I had this opportunity and I wasn't about to just like not perform in front of 80,000 people at Wembley Stadium because, you know,
you're
like,
sharing your pants.
Literally right before I go on stage, like I'm on the toilet and our security's like, yo, like
you gotta go.
We have to go. Like this band's getting off stage and you are next. And you know, like if you don't go on stage, like you're gonna ruin your reputation with everybody who's running the show. Because
did you wear a diaper or something?
No, and to be honest, it's funny because Bob Marley, he says when music hits you, you feel no pain. Or some I might have just butchered that. I don't know if you can. Right. Yeah, and it's so true because like
it went away.
It wasn't that, you know, literally like the music was hitting. It was just that I was out that you just lock in, right? Like you didn't feel your hand. You're walking out to the Jose fight. You're just like I mean, that was in Abu Dhabi, wasn't it?
No, that was in Vegas.
Okay, so this is before COVID.
It was in between fights in Abu Dhabi and fights in the Apex.
So were there a shit ton of people?
It was nobody.
Okay, so you didn't even have that. Like I had that 80,000 like crazy, you know, like eruption of just like, you know, the feeling of the sound of the people there to see music perform live. And then like when that happened, it was only a 4-minute song. That's all I was going to do out there. We were performing, and even watching the video back, like you would never know that I had severe food poisoning. After that, a doctor came to my hotel. I had an IV in me for like an hour. Like
you were fucked up.
Oh, it was bad. But it's just like, it's funny how I feel like that's a testament. And when I was 18 or 19, whenever that was, like, you don't really realize like how powerful your mind is. And I feel like you guys, like any fighter who's at that high level that you're at, like to train, to be in shape, to fight someone who's training just as hard as you and to beat that person, or even just be on that competitive level, like you have to tell yourself to fuck off so many times so you can get to that elite level. And that's like a different example, but like it just shows you think it's impossible. If you think it's impossible, you won't do it. But like a part of you, if just 1 little % of you feels like I can get on stage or I can go beat that guy, and you keep listening to that 1% instead of the other 99%, you will.
That separates you from the crowd.
Exactly.
That what makes a difference.
And everybody in the UFC is that 1%. They are beasts. Every single person, even someone with a losing record, like they are better than everyone in their hometown. Then they went to their regionals. They're beating everyone in their region. And then they finally get the call to like fight on some small thing at a fight night. And then like, even then they're beating people from like you're from Ecuador. There's people from China. And like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. Do you ever think about that? Like how you are like one of the best in the entire world. Like, does that ever like motivate you to be like, I want to be even better? Like,
I mean, I think about it all the time. Like sometimes when I started escalating the rankings, and you know, it took me like probably 15 to 17 fights to break to the top 15, because I came to the UFC early. So when I came early, meaning on my level, on my experience, I was signed to the UFC with a record of 6 1-on-1. That's only 8 fights.
Yeah.
I don't have an amateur record. I don't have kickboxing amateur fights. I have probably 7 to 8 jiu-jitsu tournaments, which I won probably 3 of those.
You won the whole tournament, like.
I'm talking about when I was a blue
Right.
belt and purple belt. As a blue belt, when I was at blue belt, one of the biggest tournaments in the city, I won the whole thing.
So are you fighting like 4 or 5 times in that one day?
Yes. When I was a blue belt, there was once a year there was like this thing called like kind of like the city cup. Like that's the main one.
Mhm.
And for that one, I just came and I think I submit everybody in that one, and I took first.
Damn.
Then as a purple belt, I lost my first 2 and won 1. And after that, I fully stopped competing because I focused on fighting.
Mm.
And jiu-jitsu didn't really give me kind of like the excitement. Like I would wake up for a jiu-jitsu tournament and it was like, I mean, what's the worst gonna happen? Someone beat me by points.
Right.
So
But you don't want to get knocked out when you go into the MMA ring.
it's a different thing. So I stopped competing jiu-jitsu and then did all this training I did for a few years, and then the UFC called me. But when I got to the UFC, it took me so long to mature because I was so young and I was from Ecuador. I wasn't used to anything high level. I used to train in a living room. So when I made it, took me, now you have guys that won 3-4 fights, they made it to the top 15. Now social media is big. They get a little push, hype.
Yeah.
Oh, the next superstar.
Yeah.
For the first generation of South American was like, hey, you're just here, dude. Be thankful you're here.
Right.
And took me so long to get there. So when I get to the top 15, I was like, holy shit, I'm the first Ecuadorian in the top 15. And then, you went from 6 to few fights, you come down a few spots, and you go back to 5. You get to number 3, 5 for the title, and you're like, holy shit, like, that's in the history books forever.
I mean, was that, when you got that O'Malley fight, was that like your biggest moment, like in your mind, like talking to yourself at night, like?
The second one.
Yeah, the second one, obviously.
I mean, that was the biggest of my life. Miami was.
And it's in Miami, which is just like.
I mean,
Little Ecuador.
from
Literally.
my room in the morning of the fight.
What hotel were you guys at?
Which hotel we were?
It was somewhere right next to the basketball arena.
Oh, I don't really know that area of
Like
Miami. Okay.
from the room, you can hear the people on the streets with how you call the big drums?
Oh, like a marching band?
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
hear those things. Like it was like parades on the street,
I can't imagine.
It
Miami,
was-
they've got passion. Because
it
they
was-
got a lot of South Americans down there.
and the arena was almost like 70% was Ecuadorians.
Yeah, it's like you were kind of like the crowd favorite, even though you were the underdog
Pretty
on
much.
paper.
And that amount of pressure is crazy to deal with. I was like normally I wake up, eat breakfast, and I like to go for like a 30-minute walk, get a coffee,
Mhm.
kind of like to get my mind out of it,
Yeah.
so I can come back to the hotel and be like, okay, few more hours and we get in a fist fight.
But how does that work? Like, because you guys fight, especially on the East Coast, you fight at what, like midnight?
It was
We walked. They walked out around 12:30. I think he was in the cage around 1.
So like, do you try like to stay up until like 4 or 5 a.m. the night before and then sleep until 7 p.m.? Like, how does that? How do you even?
I try. I went to bed early, late on Friday,
Mhm.
kind of like 12, 1:30. And then, but you're so nervous that you're going to
Yeah.
wake up regardless. So
Yeah.
I wake up like around 10, get some bad news early morning.
What was it?
My house got robbed.
Oh shit! You were telling me about this. Christoph was telling me about that.
So I wake up, right? I was like, fucking fight. I'm going to fucking be a world champion tonight.
That's great.
And I'm already fucking, if any fighter tell you different, they're lying.
Mhm.
You're fucking scared like a motherfucker.
Dude, you're human, yeah.
Doesn't matter who you're fighting. You're like, oh my fucking God, I gotta fucking fight tonight. And then my wife came to the room and she was crying, and I was like, whoa. And then she saw me, I saw her, and she literally just ran out of the room, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pretend I didn't saw that.
Is she trying to like not mess with your head?
She's
Before-
because the cops call her.
Okay.
Like they were calling my phone, but I turned my phone off when I go to bed, and I turn it on like after
Couple hours
at the
or something?
noon,
Mm.
especially on Friday. Turn it on, explore a little bit,
Mm.
say thank you to my family, and turn it back off.
Mm.
So they call my phone, I don't pick up, they call her, and then she's like, holy shit, our house got robbed. And they took a lot of shit. So we make eye contact and she left. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't saw that. I'm going to let her tell me if she wants.
Mm.
And I was just thinking, man, why she would cry? Was someone in the family die? I was like, okay, I don't
Damn,
want to
the day
think.
of a fight.
I don't want to think too much. So I called her. I'm like, hey, it's okay. Come back. I don't need to know. And she just started going, oh, our house got robbed. And I'm like, oh.
Was anyone there?
No one was there.
Okay, so
It
sucks to lose monetary value, but at least you know everyone's safe.
If they wouldn't be there, the guy that broke in would have found a family in there. What would have happened? I don't know. So luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of just told her like, hey, it's all good. Let's not talk about it. And then my whole team came to the room, and I was like, I told myself, let's just forget about it. And then the first thing I said, my house got broken. And everybody went like, whoa, what? I'm like, yeah, but it's okay. Let's go downstairs and get a quick workout, and let's pretend this never happened. And then I got a text from the detective, whatever. He was like, hey, Mr. Vera, your safe is missing. And I'm like, oh. I just reply, not a good time to talk, sir. I'll call you tomorrow.
Is that going, like, as you're, like, you know, wrapping up your hands right before, like, is that going through your mind? Or are you just so in the moment? Like,
I don't remember, but I want to say once you wrap your hands up, you forget about everything.
Yeah, you're
Was that in the back of my head and that could bug me? I don't know. I want to say no, because if I say otherwise, sounds like an excuse.
Exactly.
So
no, yeah, I should, yeah.
I just let it go. But going back to the feeling of crazy crowds, how that affect you?
I mean, dude, like that's, you know, that's my most extreme example of like being super unwell, you know, sick. And for some reason, when you get like a large group of people together, there's an energy there that like, it's physical, like it infiltrates your body and then like you're healed for a moment. Like it's just, you know, you're okay for like, even if it's like a 45-minute or an hour 15 show that we do on tour, like sometimes I just don't feel like, you know, that's what is, and I'm sure it's the same with like planning fights. Like you don't know how you're going to feel on December 8th of 2025, but you might have a fight that night and you're sitting here in, you know, October of 2024 and being like, okay, like I hope I feel good on December 8th, 2025, but I might not want to fight, but I'm going to have to.
I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes you have the best training camp, or like on you can have the best practice of the world.
Yeah.
That moment at that time, you just don't know how your mind and body will react. It's just something that, and I've been in a few concerts in my life, and the crowds don't talk shit to musicians. Fighting, you have some percentage of fuck you and some percentage I love you.
Half the crowd hates you.
So it's
or at least like even worse, like some of the crowd has you know, to them relatively a large amount of money that they don't want to lose, and they're betting against you. Like, like, so you got guys like even who aren't there. There's that energy of like knowing that people, I've never experienced that. Like nobody's like hoping I hit a wrong note on stage. Like they're paying to see me. They're not paying to see me get knocked out.
That's kind of nice. I'm going to get some.
No, that's why music is just a good vibe, man. Like you don't have people paying to come see you or paying to come to your meet and greet before the show to come like talk shit to you. Like, you know, but like, you know, I guess there is pressure for like a headliner like you, like when you're fighting someone for the title, like you have to sell those tickets. Like the UFC is going to promote, but like you do have to sell those tickets. But like when you're going on tour, for instance, like when me and my buddy, we go on tour, like there is a lot of pressure there. Like if we don't sell these, like there's no one else, they're not going to promote this. Like we're independent. We don't have a label. We don't have like a high end promoter who's like, it's just me and my best friend from kindergarten and our social media platform and the people who follow our music. Like we have to somehow let everyone know. It's hard. Like you feel like you're like posting too much about something, but then someone will be like, oh, like, what are you up to? I never see you post. And I'm like, damn, like, how do you miss all this? Like I'm like doing everything I can to make sure that these rooms are filled. And it's like,
I mean, that's a different type of pressure when it's your concert is just one headline and then you have to promote that.
Yeah.
That's I would say is probably the same feeling, because what if no one comes?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that sucks. Like we've never had to cancel a show, but like, yeah, like I mean, It's similar in the way where like you want to perform at your best, right? Like we can relate on that. Like you train and I go to, like, you can call it training. Like we have rehearsals for 2 weeks before we go on a month or 2 month tour. And like you're preparing to perform your best night in and night out, or in your case, the night of the fight. And you want to go in there when you're walking to the octagon, you're thinking like, I want to beat this guy. I want to perform well because there are people who are counting on me, even if it's not like a betting standpoint, like money. It's like, you got fans, right? Like we have fans and they want to see us win, and I want to prove to them we can do this. And on the flip side, you also want to prove to the people who are like, oh, I want him to get knocked out. He's never been knocked out. Like, oh, let's see him get knocked out. They're betting
on that. Yeah.
And like, you want to prove to them too. You kind of want to win over, you
just want to win
haters or who, you always got to prove yourself to someone. But I think as I get older, like, it's truly about yourself. Like, you got to beat. There are so many different versions of you in the future, and you get to choose based on what you put in.
You are in a race with yourself at the end of the day. The audience, they come at the end. Me personally, I don't focus, like I would say 100%. I'm not paying attention what's out there. Like,
really?
I don't read comments.
That's hard.
I don't check my DMs. If you want to talk to me, you have my phone number or you know where I live. I'm not scrolling. When I'm scrolling, I'm sending fucked up memes to my friends.
No,
That's all that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just going send, and I'm just going boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Send.
Yep.
Put down. I haven't read comments in probably years.
I mean, that's a skill, because a lot of people get to where you are and that pressure weighs on them. They're like, oh, I can't look. I shouldn't look. I shouldn't. And then they look, and then there's all these love comments, and then there's one hate comment, and that will just live. It'll be tattooed on their brain. They'll just think over
scars
and over,
you.
I can't make it to the next level because of this, and this.
And shit like that, even if you say like, oh, I got a strong mind, all that negativity will scar you. That's why, me personally, even if I know for a matter of fact that I have a good head on my shoulders and I'm not living off comments, once you read it, goes through your subconscious. I'm like, why going through that? If someone really love me, I appreciate that. I love you too. But because when you're reading comments, everything that's, oh, it's so cool, oh, I like that, you're not paying attention to that. You might throw a like, you might reply something. You're gonna read the one that say, oh yeah, I hope you die, and you're like, exactly. Whoa, why, what happened here? And most of the time you are replying to a 14-year-old kid laughing.
Oh yeah. No, and he doesn't, or they don't think, like, they don't really hate you or whoever.
They're having fun.
They're just like, I want to troll. I want to get, let's see how many likes this comment gets if I talk shit on this person. Like,
I used to do that when I was a kid. I used to just talk shit to people that I don't know for fun.
No, it's a game. It's fun. It's like, it is, and it's part of the territory. Like, if you aren't getting any hate, chances are you're not getting that much love either.
You suck.
You have to, and you have to be able to deal with that hate. Some people do it really well, where they pay attention to it and they address it. But like, I'd rather be the guy who's just like, I don't really see it. I mean, right now, we're pretty low key, so like, I don't see it. There were times though where it's like, the internet is against you, and like they want you to lose, and it's hard, especially like when you're coming up and you're young. When I was coming up and I was like 17, like, it's hard to not see some shit on Twitter and be like, wait, no, fuck you. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't even know me.
Crazy. Sometimes when it's like a real profile, chances of running into each other are possible in the world. So I would say, if I see you one day, don't complain why that happened.
Yeah.
So like, to me, it's like, because most of it is a fake profile. If you're talking shit, if you're talking shit to another human on a fake profile, you're the biggest pussy in the world.
I mean, that's like most people on the internet.
Yeah, you don't have a life.
Yeah.
You're sad. You're not happy in your
unhealthy,
own skin.
Most likely.
You're probably in the shittiest health, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you in the first place. I don't want to be near you, so why reply to you?
Well, okay, but this just made me think of something, like, because all the guys, like, in your weight class, you guys see each other at these fights, and or maybe you've trained together. Like, is it ever awkward? Because you have to talk shit to kind of sell a fight.
In a way, but for example, in my case, I talk shit to the guy I'm fighting. And sometimes not even direct to him. I just say that my intentions are to fuck him up, and I'm going to do everything in my power to hurt him. If he gets offended by that, and most of the times when I'm at the fights, I run into them, and some of them give you a look.
What is that like? If you get there on Thursday and the fight's on Saturday, like what did you guys ever?
If I see my opponent, I don't even acknowledge the guy.
Okay.
I mean, if he approach me and extend his hand, I give him knuckles. I don't shake his hand.
Okay.
And
because to you, it's like you're about to go to war. Why would I like try to make nice?
Why give each other a hug and say like, oh, must the best the guy win? Fuck you.
I know some dudes are like that and they're nasty too. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
No, there's a lot of nice people. Like GSP, Wonderboy, Anderson Silva was very nice, at least in paper. I don't know them personally.
Right.
But like, they're gonna still kick you in the head and go have a drink and laugh about it. So might as well say fuck you the whole time.
Chito always says too, he's not friends with anybody in his division.
You're truly not. You never talk to anybody in that division?
No.
Do you have like a mentor in the UFC or like someone who is even active now that like you respect and you guys like kick it on a regular basis type thing?
I mean, my hero when I was a kid was GSP. And when I get to meet him, I literally was like, yo, I love you. You are the reason I'm a UFC fighter.
Hell yeah.
And he was really nice about it. Now, like, I got Rocco with me on daily basis and his experience, and we talk about fighting and nutrition and whatsoever. But like on my weight class, I don't really have like a guy that you're my friend. Like with Dillashaw, when I was at the very early stage of my career, I used to go to his gym and he was the champion and he was extremely nice. But I think the reason why we were cool was because I wasn't a threat to him at that time.
Okay.
I was so early in my career that it would took me like, I mean, he's retired now. It took me that long to get where I am that I will never fight him. So that's why he was very welcoming. He was so high level when he was champion that just to me to be around him was lifting me up. Like was making me believe like, fuck, I might make it one day. Like this guy is paying attention to me.
Yeah.
He would like help me with training and shit. And he really goes when he spars. He goes hard.
Really?
And a lot of people is like, oh, he goes too hard. He throw crazy shit. I'm like, that's fine.
That's how you get better, right? That's how you train for the fight.
He elbowed me one time in training without elbow pad. But he said, I'm sorry right away.
Like within that moment he said I'm sorry, or after?
No, in the moment. We were sparring at the Old Aruca gym. And, I was like in the coma, but I was probably top 15. I don't think he was champion anymore, but he was like number 2 or something like that.
Okay.
And we're like going at it, and he elbowed me.
Standing up, or he had you on the ground?
No, with my head in the fence. He threw like a combo and boom.
But that's also kind of like muscle memory for him. Yeah. So many fights. Like.
So I just kind of like look at him like, what the fuck? And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's all good. And we keep going.
But that didn't make you like go from 80 to 100%.
Oh, we were going 120.
You were fighting.
We were going regardless 120. Okay. So it was just like, let's just finish the run. But he had a bad rep that he goes too crazy. I mean, that's how I spar.
Yeah.
I go 100% with punches, 100% with kicks. I never throw knees, elbows, or spinning wheel kicks because they're kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're being a dick, I'm gonna throw really fucked up shit.
Really?
Like if you punch me full blast in the jaw and you land, I'm like, good job. But if you throw a spinning wheel kick or those side kicks to the knee, I'm gonna go ape shit on you.
Yeah.
Like Luke brought me for my last fight. He brought me like this Russian guy.
Yeah.
To spar. We didn't know each other. He didn't speak the language.
Damn.
So I was going hard on him, but he was going hard too. And the second time he came around, it was in between rounds. Like on round 1, he threw like one of those John side kicks to my knee and actually kind of hurt my knee. Yeah. This is like probably like 4 weeks before the fight.
Damn.
And I felt like wobbling and I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. So second round I start and my coach didn't saw that. So Parillo didn't saw what happened. And on the second round, I started throwing the heaviest side kicks to the knee. Like he was like, yo, calm the fuck down, dude. Like we don't do that. And I was just going and over and over and over. And then I think I heard the guy. So he's like, dude, no. He's like, no knee. And I was like, fuck you, you fucking throw it to me. And then when we finished sparring, I told his coach or friend, I'm like, yo, translate for him. We spar hard, I get it. But you throw that shit to me.
Right.
That's what did it to you.
Right.
So it's your fault. And the guy translated, he's like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm like, oh, it's all good. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try to hurt you.
Right.
I went crazy
You're
to the
just
guy.
matching his energy.
And he didn't care anymore after that.
Okay. When you spar like that, like do you do like a 5-round fight or a 3-round fight?
If I'm fighting a 3-round fight, we go 3 rounds really hard.
Okay.
Just to get the muscle memory and the intensity for those 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If I'm fighting a title fight, we go 5 hard rounds or a main event, which is 5 rounds too. And we spar hard.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's people that say that the sparring is not good anymore, that they just drill. You don't learn how to do a lap in NASCAR going at 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So we go fully.
When you get into that arena in the octagon, like on fight night, is it a little bit of like a relief because you can go 200% and you're like, I can fuck this dude up and no one's gonna get mad.
This 10 hours before that
Mm-hmm.
is hell. You're like thinking, you're like, oh my God, I gotta fight. Once you're in the cage, you are relieved. You're like, oh fuck, I'm here. I made it.
How much did you eat like right before the fight? Like how does that work? Like when do you gain all that weight back and how much do you try to put on right before a fight?
I
Like,
think you put the weight on Friday.
okay.
That's the day that you eat pretty heavy.
You weigh in Friday morning?
Friday morning, and after that, I go and eat and just eat as much as I can.
Anything.
I
You
go
don't think
re-
like certain things slow you down in the fight or something?
I go really clean. I eat a steak. I eat Japanese jams. I do, a lot of watermelon juice to rehydrate.
Mm.
I do all these things. On fight day, I have a pretty decent breakfast. That's the biggest meal of the day. And then during the day, I snack. I eat fruit. I eat some dry fruit. I eat like rice with liver, like easy to digest but very nutritious shit.
Yeah.
And then right before the fight, I kind of stop eating probably like few hours before. So when you're like hungry and your stomach is kind of like empty,
Yeah.
I like to go like that to the arena.
Okay.
And
To
then
the arena, not to the fight. Like
to the arena.
so
And
you're
then
there for how many hours before your fight?
probably like 2 hours and a half.
Okay, so you're hungry.
You're hungry. And then what I do, I eat a banana. I bring some fruit with me.
Mm.
But you're so nervous that
Yeah, no
right
appetite.
right now that banana is not gonna make the difference. I know carbs will give you energy.
Yeah.
When the fucking cage is locked, you will find energy.
Yeah,
so
of
it
course.
doesn't matter.
That's crazy. Like, can't even imagine getting locked in. Like, even just like getting the Vaseline put on, they're checking your cup. Like, that,
Yeah. It is. You get that.
I get it. Watching the guy I want to win, I'm like, fuck. Like he's about to go in there. Like I feel like I'm one with that guy, and I'm like, fuck. Like he could get fucked up. Like this guy's gnarly too. Like
When I get to meet new people, and let's say before we met, we know who we are, and then we actually met and we start like talking and becoming friends. They're so involved. They're like, how are you feeling? You're good?
oh yeah,
And I'm like, dude, you just met the worst person you can meet because now you're gonna suffer every time I
yeah.
fight.
Like that's crazy. Like whether you win or not, that 15 minutes is gonna suck because
And
they're so emotionally connected.
I feel what hurts people the most is to walk into the cage. They're like, come on, and I'm like, shit, my bad, bro. You got to meet me because they get worked up. They do get worked up.
Jack, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So you said something earlier that I kind of want to punch in on a little bit, that because it's just interesting. You were talking about being 17 years old and like dealing with like comments on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Like how old were you when your career kind of started to pop off, and what was your mental state like to kind of first of all deal with that success, but then also deal with everything that came with it?
I mean, so we started posting. Were you guys like on Vine? Did you watch Vines back in the
like
day?
comedy and stuff.
Yeah. Like that's what we were doing for the most part. We were like posting comedy videos and like, I was singing in high school and my boy was like rapping, but like he was a really, really small white kid. So like he was doing it in secret and he would kind of like tell me, but like, we were, he was keeping it on the DL for sure. Like he wasn't like coming to all the boys like, yo, check out this rap I wrote. And so it was kind of like we were doing some music stuff on Vine at the same time, like covers, and he would play guitar, piano, and I would sing. So that was like junior year of high school. It was like our that summer. I was 16, and that's when things started to like start moving. Kind of, it was like, okay, like 10,000 people follow us, like that. It's like it just kind of started snowballing. We're like 10,000, that's a lot. And then it was like the next week it was like 50,000, and then a week after that was like 250,000, and then 1 million, 5 million. And we were like still in high school, you know, 16, 17 years old. That's when it kind of like started to happen. And it definitely, like, looking back, you know, 10 years later, like, we were still in high school. We were still surrounded by all of our friends, and, you know, we had some really good friends, obviously, and we still have them to this day. But, like, it was hard at 16, 17 to not let, like, this massive following not affect my, you know, my ego a little bit.
I mean, it's a developing brain.
We were on top of the world. Like, on weekends, we would go to, like, different cities and do these events where we would, like, you know, we had millions of followers, and there were people, you know, jumping on us, like, on our email and stuff, like, yo, I'll pay you $250. Like you said, like, at the time, like, that was unreal. I'd only ever worked for like $7 an hour or something at that time. So $250, like, yeah, they'll fly me out to Dallas, and we'll do like a meet and greet with, like, the first time we ever did it, we met like 2,000 girls came, and the tickets were $250 to meet us, right? So 2,000 girls paid $250, but I was 16 and my buddy was 17. Like, we weren't doing the math. We were like, oh, we get $250. Like, this is awesome. And this dude was making millions of dollars, like, no exaggeration, because we would do these every weekend for, like, I think that was fall of 2013 and into summer of 2014. And so then the first event was, like, I remember, like, walking out. We did it in a hotel, like, convention center. And we really, you know, we saw the numbers online, but we didn't ever see it in person. Yeah, so we were like, okay, this could be cool. So we show up to the hotel, we go to sleep, we wake up, and, like, you can, like, hear there's just, like, noise from the lobby. So we're going down into the lobby to, like, go to this event, and, like, there's, like, a lot of, like, you know, like, when just a lot of people are talking, and it's just, like, you can hear there's a lot. We didn't really realize, like, oh, there's a lot of people. And then we, like, walk out to, like, to go to our station where we do these meet and greets. And, like, there's, like, 12-year-old girls, like crying, screaming, like crazy. And so that was, like, when I say, like, it was hard to, like, go back to school on Monday and, like, not kind of carry around that, like, confidence.
I'm the shit.
A little bit, you know, like, and I feel bad thinking back to it, because more, like, my acquaintances at the time probably, like, really saw it. My best friends were like, okay, they're having, like, a sweet moment. Like, this is very, like, rare, and, like, we're happy for them, even if, like, they're kind of, like, you know, like, really enjoying it maybe a little too much. But I was never, like, an asshole about it, but for sure, like, I loved the feeling of, like, you know, feeling that love, you know. And it was, like, an insane feeling of, like, being in math class, no one gives a shit who you are, but then leaving, and then the next morning you wake up and, like, there's 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 people paying and screaming, and there was, like, these, you know, this group of us at the time who all had followers, and it was just, like, it was weird. It was honestly weird, like, the contrast of, like, being nobody one day, and then, like, feeling like you're, like, I don't know, really important the next day, and then going back to school being nobody, like, having to make sure I study for this test, even though, like, it looks like there's a lot of money on this side of things, but, like, should I be trying to get into college right now? That was confusing. And then, but to more directly, I know I'm, like, really giving you the whole thing, but, like, to more directly answer your question, like, it really started happening when we were 16 in senior year. I turned 17, and then kind of, like, I think it was, like, March 1st, you had to make a decision on, like, on a college, and I got into University of Arizona, and I always heard, like, that was a really fun school to go to. So I was, like, enrolled in U of A. I had my student ID, and I was excited to go to college. And then, like, March 1st, me and my buddy, he was really smart. Like, you know, he could have been a lawyer or a doctor or something, but we kind of, like, talked about it that day or the day before, and we're like, you know, we should, like, we have millions of followers. There's people paying money. I know we're getting screwed by this guy, but, like, maybe we could go, like, do this on our own. And so we were like, let's move to LA, because a lot of the guys we were doing this with were like, we're moving to LA. Screw this dude who's, like, stealing all the money. let's go see what we can do on our own. And so that was 17 years old. We moved to LA, and then it kind of just went from there, you know, like we really focused on making music and putting it out and then going on tour. And so we started touring in August of 2014 and selling out like House of Blues, like 1,500 to 2,500 seat venues. And that was, you know, we figured out a way to do it on our own. So someone else wasn't like, you know, there wasn't like a big corporation or a guy taking all the money and paying us a flat rate. So I think the most I ever made like from one of those events at the beginning was like $1,000, like towards the third or fourth one, when the guys started catching on and they were like, yo, like you're not paying, you're not like, you're making all this money, but you know, we're all getting $250. And so they were like, okay, we'll give you $1,000. And so that kind of like held everybody down for like at least a couple weeks. And we were like, wait, that's still not enough. Like there's definitely more money here. And so then it all kind of disbanded, and me and my buddy just went on to tour music and make music and do, you know, like then social media started popping off. This was like 2014, 2015, and brand deals started happening online. And that was kind of like the first generation of like, you know, like internet celebrities, so to speak, of like, there was no blueprint. Whereas like now if you blow up on social media, like, you know, you get a social media manager and they connect you with these brands where like, you know, even like a legit brand like Nike, they have a budget just for influencers, you know, like back then it wasn't, you had to like convince these big brands that like they should pay you the same way they pay, you know, I don't know, some more conventional celebrity who's
do
like.
Do you remember the first show where you were like, holy shit, this is like real?
I mean, that day I mentioned like going to that hotel in that convention center and like being in that hotel and like seeing like 2,000 people like going crazy, and they all knew who you were. I was like, how the fuck do you know who I am? I've never met any of you. And then it like, you know, it obviously makes sense. They follow you, they like your shit, but like that was nuts. And then performing like an original song like that you wrote, and like seeing all of the people like sing the words that you wrote, like when you were alone, like in a room writing these, like that just like, it's funny because it kind of like how you go on the octagon, and it's like, it's kind of normal. Like I'm sure you get butterflies and like you're nervous, but like this is your job. Like this is what you do. You kind of get desensitized to how cool your job is, I think. Like
it is,
you know, and like going out there, even on this last tour in like May, like you got to like remind yourself, you know, not that I was ever taking it for granted, but like just like to really enjoy it, you know, and like how fortunate you are to like be up there and like you can write songs for a living and they listen to them and they'll sing them to you, or, you know, you can go in the gym and like, you know, sitting in the sauna, like that's your job. Like people would like kill for that, you know, like so I don't know, it's cool.
Most people don't even have the time to do something nice like that because they gotta read a paper, send an email, or do more hours on a regular job.
Yeah, I mean, you get to take care of your body like for a living, and I think that's gonna pay dividends. I know you're getting hit in the head and stuff, but like, you know, like you get to take, like that's gonna take care of you when you're older, because you have to take care of your body. You have to be an elite athlete to compete at your thing. And even for me, like, you know, like with brand deals and stuff and like certain avenues of my career, like I gotta look good, like physically, and also mentally. If I don't look good, I don't feel good.
That won't give you the confidence to go and perform. Like
that too.
I know few artists, like singers, and I'm like, yo, you need to start
take care of yourself,
running around. I know you're, and the thing with most musicians, they spend the whole night up, eating, hanging out, drinking.
I can't do that. Yeah, we did that.
And it's like, I'm like, and sometimes I get calls like, yo, come to this bar, come to this event. I'm like, bro, you should start fucking eating lettuce right now and go to bed.
They should be asleep. They go to sleep when they should be waking up. Like a lot of my friends are still in that, and no, you know, no judgment. Like that is your life.
Do your thing.
But I just feel like I've fallen in love with taking care of my body and like the longevity of doing that.
And your brain. I mean, in order to make a song, in order to put some feel into that song, you want to be there. You want to be, and that's what people don't put together. In the better shape you are, the more healthy and strong you feel, you can put even better shit out there.
Yeah.
And lately, I've been seeing like friends of mine like now they, when when they're in a tour or they're in a bus going to another city,
Mm-hmm.
they're all doing push-ups and getting good food, drinking veggie juices, and
Yeah.
this become their thing. They have an ice bath on tour. They have
I mean, that's the dream.
and when I see that, I'm like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
keep doing that.
That's gonna work for a long time. Like,
They go for morning runs. I mean, I get it. You have to party a little bit. It's okay, but don't go fucking crazy.
no, and I think that's actually even like, I don't think you have to party at all. Like, you have to enjoy it, right? But like, I've got some friends who always talk about like balance, and like, I don't believe in that. Like, personally, it doesn't work for me. I'm the kind of guy who's got to go cold turkey. If I want something, it's going to be my whole life. I'm going to focus 100% on that
And
thing.
that's the best balance, not having one.
Yeah. Like, I'm not about like, keeping it steady. Like, no, like, I don't want to like drink a little. Oh, like, then like the next 7 days, like, tip the scales back in my like athletic favor or like feel good mental. Like, no, like, completely ruin that and go crazy on this other thing, because that's going to help you.
Huberman say that all the time. Sometimes people
I
think
love
like,
Huberman.
sometimes people say like, oh, one drink is okay. No, that one drink is gonna still fucking you up. I might as well just go fully the other side and you will perform. Like,
Yeah.
I got friends that they jump in the stage and I'm like, you need to be in shape for that. And sometimes
Yeah.
people get hurt because they're not in shape, and then they don't perform this. And sometimes when you are in the moment and just put on a crazy show, that's gonna make the next crowd want it even more.
Oh, 100%. And same thing with fighting. Like, you put on a good fight, that's a show. Like, it's entertainment. We're both in the entertainment industry. Like, you want people to come pay and see you next time. Like, and also like I have career goals, right? But then like some of my personal goals they take priority over anything for me. And that's like one of my personal goals is just longevity. Like, I want to look and feel and perform at my best in every aspect of my life, whether it is my career or it's just like hanging out with my daughter and having more kids, or just enjoying life with my family in general. Like, when I literally think about my 80-year-old self all the time. All the time I envision it. And like, I meet, you see elderly people, and like, I have grandparents. I'm fortunate enough to still have 4 grandparents right now, and they're all like 85, and like, I love them to death. But I also, we have all these resources at a young age, here now with technology, but also just like with social media that allows you to be aware of this different ways, listening to guys like Huberman or like Peter Attia, and like adopting some of these habits to allow you to be healthy for a very long time and set yourself up for a lifetime of success, whether it's in your career or just like being healthy, which I think is like, that's the most important thing. You got to be happy.
I mean, if you get older and you're all beat up and you're taking 20 prescriptions, that shit is not happy.
I don't like the whole drug thing, man. Like you should, and some people have to take prescriptions, and like, I'm not like, I don't really know what I'm talking about in that sense. Me neither. But if I can avoid it,
I do believe once you can avoid it, and 2, you can just, there's high levels of things, right?
Yeah.
But if you take care of yourself, you will avoid most likely all that shit.
I agree, and I think that like, it's no secret, like, they want you to get hooked on that shit. They want you to think that you need Xanax to sleep. They want you to think you need Adderall to focus. But like, there are have you drank enough water today? Have you gone in the sun? Do you get vitamin D on a regular basis? Have you ever taken your socks off and gone like stand
on the grass,
on the ground, or on the sand, and like swim in the ocean? Like these are things that like, even if you live in Norway and like it's the middle of the winter and there's only sun for 3 hours, like that you still got to go out there. Like, you
don't jump in the ice.
There is no excuse, but so many people they want an easy life, right? And like, I get that, right? But
that easy life brings big consequences.
Oh, you're gonna be sad.
When I see older people running on the street, I honk like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah?
Like, what the fuck? I'm
just like,
scared,
fuck,
bro. Like,
yeah. What the fuck?
And some of them just give me like, thumbs up, and I'm like, just keep on doing that.
Does it make you think about, because you're 31, right? Like, you're relatively very young in the grand scheme of life, right? But like, in terms of being a professional fighter, like, you're kind of in the middle there. Like, does it make you think, like, because the young guys are 21 and the old guys are 38, 39.
Yeah.
Like, do you have career goals that like you're shooting for still, or are you like, I made it to a point, past where I ever thought I was gonna be from Ecuador, and I'm in the UFC and I fought for a championship. Like, but how many times do I want to get hit in the head? Like those kind of, I know you're not getting knocked out, so that's good. But
to me, the way I see it, I have a timeline at 37.
okay,
And from now to then, I wanna be a world champion. I wanna hold the belt, defend the belt, and that's on my personal fighting career. I'm doing everything in my power. I'm driving 2 hours to Glendale every morning to train with these fucking crazy Armenians that put me through crazy workouts and shit that I have never done in the past, like coming from a strength and conditioning to wrestling to fucking breathing. I mean, it's 3 hours. It's like mellow body work, stretching, breathing work, wrestling my ass off. And if you're not going after these type of things, getting off your comfort zone, waking up at 5 in the morning and find
no
it,
chance. You're not gonna.
you're
just
not gonna make
maintain.
it. So I really wanna make it. So I'm on that right now.
Okay.
Once I get to 37, I will be done with this, and I have few goals out there. I want to have, me and my wife talk about having our own coffee shop for the last 10 years. I want to have a sick vibe in there, art, amazing coffee, and stuff like that. Maybe open a restaurant after that. And some cheeseburger, something that is not the most healthy, not what I'm eating right now, but something that will create community. And I have a lot of friends that are chefs, and I can get advice from them, and just making something cool.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm gonna definitely go into clothing. I want to make something that I would wear.
Yeah.
That I like, and I think if it's cool, if it's cool to me,
Oh yeah.
it's right. So that's my afterlife.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just every big fight, every big endorsement, I invest my money. That's just saving on the bank, so later on I don't have to worry about taking a money fight, or I don't have to like be fighting every 8 months on a crazy show, or going, I don't know, to Russia and get a good payday. But just for that, once I'm done, I'm done.
You don't want to sell your soul. You want to accomplish your goals and do it on your terms.
Exactly. And I'm gonna get into ultra running. I want to run 100, 200 miles.
Do you run now?
I run a lot.
How much do you run?
Right now, I'm on a program because I'm running the New York Marathon.
Oh, no way.
On November 3rd.
Oh, that's like in a month.
That's in a month.
So you're already like pretty trained for that.
I mean,
Did you have to qualify?
Not when you're cool.
Really? You just know someone. So have you ran a marathon before?
Never.
Have you ran 26.2 miles though, and unofficially?
Never. Oh. No, I have, my max has been 16 miles.
And what's like your average pace on a 16 mile?
I start like, if I know I'm gonna that long, I give myself like the first few miles like between 10, kind of like get my rhythm
it's like a
going.
warm up. Yep.
And then midway I push 8, few 7s, and then I finish again a little 9, 10.
Okay.
But my best time on a 13.5, I think I did an hour and like 51 minutes.
I mean, sub 2 hours. Which nice.
Is pretty good for me. So
I mean, for anyone, man. Like,
I don't have really big expectations on the marathon.
You just want to finish.
I want to finish it. But
are you on a training program from like Nike or something? Like, I'm doing a Nike run, like half marathon training program right now. So like each day is scheduled. I don't have to think about it. I just do it.
I got one of my friends that I met through Cameron Haynes. His name is Ben. He can do like a 3-minute mile. So that guy, it's on another galaxy on running.
Yeah, that's insane.
I met him in Oregon a few months ago. I went to learn how to shoot a bow and do camp podcast. And we ran 15 miles off the plane. So Cam picked me up in the airport. And he's like, you want me to drop you in the hotel, or you want to go for a run? And it's Cameron Haynes. You can bitch out. I say, no, let's go run. So we get to the trail, which is all mountains. We didn't do nothing flat. And
do you have the trail running shoes for that, or did he hook you up?
I just have regular. I have his shoes, but on this run I have like regular shoes.
Like Like not even running shoes.
No, running shoes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
I brought running shoes everywhere I travel.
Yeah, me too.
Everywhere.
That's
because
the only way. Because that's something you can do everywhere.
Sometimes there's no
you
time. You don't find a gym to lift weights.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no place I can go and grapple. But there's always 1 or 2 hours in the day in between filming a commercial or photos or whatever. I can run for an hour.
Was Cam Haynes, right?
Yeah.
Was he pushing you hard on that 15 miler?
He was pretty nice.
Yeah.
He knew he was running with a fighter.
Okay.
But this guy that wrote the program for the marathon, his name is Ben. That guy was pretty much walking.
Okay.
And I can tell he's a pro runner. So we were running and we keep going up. And I was like, and I'm the type of guy that I never ask. I never ask how long or how much, because if you ask, you already create doubt. So I told myself, if I fail, I fail, but I'm gonna keep going until then. So I keep seeing up, and then another up, and then another up, and I was like, it's been 45 minutes, huh? And then we get off the trail, and we start going on a non-trail path that is usually walking on top of trees, and we of course walk. I was pretty much crawling to keep going on this mountain before we find the trail. So I was like, holy shit, I have never felt this type of pain because I was pretty much crawling on trees. And they were just going, pim, pim, just jumping.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to make it. So now we get to the top of this mountain, which is rocks. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this was easy. And then Cam says like, you see that other mountain out there? And I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty cute mountain. Okay, we gotta get there. And I was like,
so you were like not even halfway.
Not even halfway. And I was like, cool. I said, how you feeling? And I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm good. And this is right after my title fight. So this was my first run back.
How long did you take a moment after that?
I took
like no training. I just forgot about
4 weeks off, and then I travel to Oregon, and then I eat good, so I wasn't out of shape, but I definitely wasn't ready for that shit.
You weren't like challenging your cardiovascular endurance.
So we went downhill again, and then we get in the path, and we did like 8 more miles, and then we get to this other trail, and I was like, okay, cool. That was a trail, but it was like up, left up, right up, left up, right up, and there was a point that I was just fucking walking. And I was walking, and I was like, fuck, I don't see him. And then I was with Ben.
They left? Oh, okay. They didn't leave you.
No, they didn't leave me. So Cam kept running. Ben stayed with me. And Ben was like, every time you feel energy, we go back to running. So we'll walk for 3-4 minutes, and I will push myself at least for 90. Then walk, and then run, and then walk. Then we get to the top of this mountain. But now you got to come down again.
Yeah.
So I was just like, holy shit. So when we were done, I was like, I'm dead. So we went straight to the sauna and ice bath, which that was a win.
Yep.
And Ben was like, dude, you're actually a pretty good runner for being a fighter. Like, and I was like, fuck, coming from you, it's real. So I got asked from New Balance if I want to run the marathon. I say, sure.
No way. Are they sponsoring you?
I mean, I hope so.
But they like send you shoes.
I get every shoe that you can imagine.
Damn. What size are you?
9.5.
Oh, damn.
What about you?
No, I'm 11.5, but like I was hoping I could like just steal some shoes.
I'm sample size, so I get everything.
Yeah, you get everything, huh?
And any collab that even before they get out, I just send a text. I'm like, yo, I need this.
Oh, that's sick.
And
do you like running? I mean, I guess you're trying to get a deal, so you have to say yes.
But no, but I actually like them. Yeah. I start my running journey with Brooks.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And I found that Brooks works good at the beginning. When they get a little run down, they hurt my feet. Okay. With New Balance, I can put 100 miles on the 1080s. Yeah. And they work.
I feel I have Hokas right now, and I put like maybe 100 miles, maybe 150, somewhere in there on them. I have the Hoka Clifton 9s, and I'm loving them. But just today, sometimes I break the rules, and like I'll go to the gym in them, which like they say like don't walk in your running shoes.
I never walk on my running shoes.
I know I shouldn't do it, but I did, and I was like, these feel like a little bit like, yeah. But they say those can go for like 400 miles because they're super padded.
Once I check my app and say it's 100 miles, I just leave the shoes in whatever hotel I am.
No way.
Yeah.
Someone's just like getting huge I mean, because you could still run more than 100 miles in those. Those
Yeah.
are meant to be like 250, 300.
I set that rule a while ago. Once I pass 100 miles, if I'm running
Mm-hmm.
and I get to my house, I put it on the side, and then I travel with them, and I just leave it. I leave it in the hotel room.
Are you on Strava?
No, I have this just random app, and now
Okay.
I have the Chorus watch.
Oh yeah, some people love that. I have this Garmin. I can't take it off, dude. I love it so much.
That guy Ben that wrote my program, he told me get the Chorus.
Okay,
and
he knows what he's doing.
you just press running. And
Yeah, same.
It's on the app.
No, I love it so much, and it tells me it's not just a running watch, but it like tells me my calorie burn and my steps and stuff. And so we should run though.
Yeah.
Like sometime. Do you run in Costa Mesa or like?
Yeah, we can run anywhere.
Dude,
I'm running later tonight or tomorrow.
I ran today, and like I gotta go put the baby down. But like, what do you do? Like, do you have a long day? Like Sunday's your long day or something?
Today and tomorrow I gotta do only 30 minutes. That's pretty chill.
Oh, it's just a time. Okay.
It's like the first few weeks.
Okay.
It was on the track. It was gnarly because.
What track? I mean, you don't want to say it on the podcast, but like, I want to.
I mean, I go to what's the Newport school?
Newport Harbor.
So
They let like just people.
I just walk in
and they're
and I just hope someone
during
smile.
school hours or.
I don't go during school hours because there's so much weirdness in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the guy.
Yeah, I don't want. Same. Like I'm getting to
But
the age where like they're gonna be like, who's
I
this
like
guy?
I like after school when they're playing like a football game or what's the thing that the girls play, like it's like a hockey. It's hockey and field, right?
Field hockey, yeah.
Field hockey. So
Lacrosse.
or that, yeah. I don't know. I'm not paying attention. So once they're playing sports after school,
Mm.
I just walk in, and most of the kids start like screaming my name.
Oh
which is
yeah, I
pretty
mean
cool.
they obviously like. I
And
was gonna ask.
I run, and then few of the coaches like, hey, it's okay if they talk to you. I'm like, I mean, you letting me run here, so
Yeah,
they
this
can
is cool.
talk to me as much as they want.
When are you going to the track next? Because I have a speed day in 2 days.
Next week I'm in Ecuador. And,
Oh, okay.
And I have few long runs I gotta do back home.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be hard to run in
Like
this.
15, 18 miles, kind of like.
They told me there's coming few long ones,
Oh,
so
okay.
I hope.
He doesn't send you a whole thing. He just tells you like, yo, this week this is what we're doing.
They sent me a big email,
Okay.
but I told him I don't like that.
You
And
don't
I-
want to know. You just want to know what to do right now.
Yeah, he goes like
I
he
get
just sent me
you.
a text, and I'm like, thank you. I know it's more work for him, but I'm like, just tell me.
I mean,
Just tell me by the day.
so you just running 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah, 30 today and 30 tomorrow.
Does it tell you a pace to shoot for, or like a heart rate zone or
He
something?
told me start slow
Yeah.
and pick up every other 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I just go, and then my watch tell me the pace. So I just
Yep.
keep going. And that thing vibrates, I run more. Vibrates, run more. So I
That's
go
a
by that.
mental game too.
It
I
is
feel
a-
like that has to affect your endurance in the octagon.
I don't get tired.
Yeah.
I lost decisions before, but not because I was tired. I think that's the worst feeling. I mean, think
can
about it.
imagine.
You're singing on a concert and you're dancing and jumping, and then you're out of breath.
Nah, luckily I've never had that feeling, but like that I can't. How are you gonna put on a good show?
When I see a fighter out of gas in the first round, I punch myself in the face. I'm like, motherfucker, your only job is to train, and you get tired on first round.
I don't get that. It's usually the young guys who are brand new to the thing, though. No,
I think it's mental because you're nervous and then you start giving up. I think it's all that you just gave up on yourself.
Mhm.
Maybe you get caught. You know,
Yeah, and then you lose confidence because and then like your heart.
panic and you start breathing.
Panic has got to be the craziest element of all in that octagon.
You don't want to
'Cause
panic there.
Everything goes. It's just like you're gonna die if
You
you start panicking.
You forget how to fight if you panic.
Well,
Can't-
even in jiu-jitsu, right? Like if you're calm and you're moving and you're breathing
Yeah.
properly, you can go a lot longer. But you're taking these deep breaths and your mouth is open.
And your arms get numb in
Yeah.
the forearms. So
I can't even imagine that.
to me, it's like if you panic in there, you should find something else to do.
Yeah, you're not built for it. Like that's what that means when it says like I'm built different, right? Or like you're just
Yeah.
not built for this. Like it truly is something that not everyone can do, and that's why we like paying to
Yeah,
watch it
Exactly.
because you guys are just different.
if you get tired in the first round, there's a big problem.
I want to ask you just before, like, because I have to put my baby down. We're going, but I want to, and I appreciate you for having me
Yeah.
seriously. But I want to
Thank you.
ask, like, who hits the hardest, and who has anyone ever made you see stars or like lose it for a second?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, a lot of guys.
Who's like the worst? Who? I mean, you don't like.
I mean, when I fought, this is years ago.
Okay.
10 days notice. I was coming off surgery. I haven't trained a day in few months,
Mm-hmm.
and I was needing money. So my manager comes and says, "Yo, someone fell off from the London card. You wanna fill in?" And I'm like, "Against who?" He said, "Brad Pickett." And that's the only guy that I watched since I was a little kid.
Mm.
Not even Jose Aldo. Like I watch him,
Okay.
but I'm like, you're a badass, but I wasn't like. Brad Pickett was a bad motherfucker.
I don't even know the name.
Yeah, and
I gotta watch his
it's
YouTube.
he was a bad motherfucker, and he can box, and he's mean. So I took the fight in short notice for money. I was broke. I had probably like few grand left in the account, and I went, yeah, let's do it, so that I can get a new contract and blah blah blah. I get to London and I have to cut probably 20 pounds on 10 days. So the UFC came to me, like, I won't say his name because I put him on the spot, and he's like, "Hey dude, don't worry about this fight. If you lose, it's all good. We won't cut you." So I told myself, I'm like, okay, you just told me I'm here to lose, huh? I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you for the opportunity. I think I have never fought that hard in my life because I was
Like they're expecting you to lose. They want you to lose.
that on the O2 arena, sold out.
Oh, come on.
I'm fighting the local hero on his retirement fight.
No.
Yeah, first round, I get thrown my head. He lift me in the air, throw me down. I defend myself properly, get up. The kickboxing exchanges were pretty even. I probably had more power, but he was fast as fuck.
Really?
And you can feel the speed in there.
Yeah.
Second round, he kind of kicked my ass. Third round,
It's a 3-round fight.
it's a 3-round fight. And that's the only fight that I have never been.
Oh, this is I love. Okay.
So this is back in the day, and he have a great left hook. That's a nice elbow.
Damn.
And he wasn't getting tired, and I was just like,
He's little.
see how he's hitting my body? He can crack.
What is he? 5'2"?
He's probably
Damn.
5'6", but like he was taking it, and
Yeah, he does.
boom.
Oh, I didn't know you knocked him out.
So third round came, and I'm losing the fight, right? And they will never give me the decision, even if I kick his ass in the third round.
What does that feel like? Just getting your foot in someone's
Feels
neck,
great. That feels amazing.
like that has to be like nobody wants what comes with fighting, but everyone wants to feel that in front of O2 Arena or Madison Square Garden. Like everyone wants to know what that's like. Like
the whole arena went silent. Like they went from "fuck you" to silent,
Ooh.
and I was just
Ooh.
like, I was just
And
like,
were you coming off a couple losses in this fight? Like,
Bro.
it wasn't
No.
exactly an amazing time for you, right? Like,
It-
you kind of didn't want to lose that fight.
I mean, no,
I mean,
definitely
you don't
not.
ever want to lose a fight.
Well, no, yeah, especially once the
But it was
promoter's like,
it was just how broke I was. So I was like, I take any fight right now.
and I mean the opportunity, even with no money, like fighting in the O2 Arena.
I fought there twice.
That's so sick.
O2 Arena is, but nothing beats Madison Square Garden. That's
Really?
That's my baby forever. Fighting in MSG.
Who'd you
it's
fight in MSG last?
Frankie Edgar.
Oh, okay.
So that was the energy of that building is something else.
I mean, that's what everyone says. Even people who
Those
sell out concerts
those
there.
walls talk to you.
Oh, bro, it's so legendary. I've been backstage there. It's like
It's crazy.
it's nuts. It's you just feel it.
Before I let you go, what's new on your career, or what's coming up?
Man, like honestly, we're completely rebuilding. We've gone through a lot of like industry stuff, over the years. Like we've been in this for 10 years, but we're still, we're young enough to continue to do it, and we have the passion and drive to do it. So we're just rebuilding right now, and we're putting out acoustic versions. So we put out an album on March 1st of this year, and we're starting to come out with acoustic versions of 3 songs within the album. So we put out one to our song Like That, one to our song Bonnie and I, and then in October, which is now next week, I believe, our acoustic version of the song called Thought I Was Dead, which is kind of a story about like going away for a second from the industry and how that felt, is coming out on October 13th, I believe. And honestly, it's sweet to just be able to get back to basics and do what we love, like make acoustic versions and just write music and perform it live like we just did on our previous tour. But the most exciting things that we're really up to right now is planning a tour in Australia and New Zealand, and then we're gonna get over to Europe and South America. I want to do a show in Ecuador so bad. We've done Brazil, we've done Chile, we've done Argentina.
If you come to Ecuador, I will come.
You have to come.
I come
because I feel like everyone's gonna know you down there.
If you come to Ecuador, I pull up for that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got to do that because I don't know what kind of fan base we have in Ecuador, but I got to check like the analytics on our Spotify or Instagram or whatever. But that's definitely on the radar of like where to tour because we just finished an American tour this past summer. So we want to do, like I said, there we go. There's our Instagram, Jack and Jack on Instagram. Yeah. So this is all the Bonnie and I, which is one of our songs. I think Christoph showed you Bonnie and I. He said you were dancing to it. It's that's all that's from. But then our next shoot that we just did last week, a week ago today, is from the Thought I Was Dead shoot, which we're really excited about. It kind of goes with the theme of Halloween. It's a vibe for sure, and so we're really excited about just getting back on the road and just hopefully keep doing what we love,
Fuck yeah,
like that's
bro.
the goal. Do you have a next fight?
They offered me a short notice fight. I say fuck that. I did way too many of those in my career, so I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I'm improving, and I'll be back in January or February.
Yeah. Do you got a name? Like who are you trying to get?
I mean, I can fight Seguro, Jan, rematch Corey Sanhagen, rematch with O'Malley. I mean, the
O'Malley could work because he just lost, obviously.
The opportunities are wide open. So
have you fought Marab?
Never. But fights make styles.
Yeah.
I think I got the cardio to.
No, it's different. Each matchup is so different.
That's the problem with fighting.
Yeah.
You beating the guy that beat me doesn't mean I won't kick your ass.
Absolutely not.
And me kicking someone's ass doesn't mean
no.
And that's what excites me about fighting, because I don't care how hard you work. We all work hard. We all dedicated. Once they lock the cage, the stars couldn't be aligned. You don't know. So that excites me. That make me wake up thinking I got to do the right thing today, and I just live by that.
Dude, keep doing you. I'm excited to watch you in the octagon next.
Same
seriously,
with you, bro.
Connect us, Christoph, because I wanna run with you.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Yeah, easy, bro.
All right,
Thanks
brother.
for coming by.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.